Damn it, Jasper, he muttered under his breath, resisting the urge to follow her. Francine, back home, lay in bed, staring at the ceiling in silence. Her son stirred beside her. Mommy, is something wrong? Huh? No, baby. Mommy's just thinking. When you're sad, we should go outside so you'll feel happy again. She smiled faintly. Of course. When I'm not busy, we'll play and eat all the chocolate we want. Yay! Now go to sleep. Mommy, I had a dream. What was it? I saw Daddy. I don't know if it was really him, but he called me baby, and I called him Daddy. I saw something on the news about reincarnation. Maybe he was reincarnated. We should find him. Maybe he's looking for us, too. Francine froze. Was this the moment to tell him the truth? As time passed, the campaign period grew more intense. Everyone became busier. Still, Francine found time to join a cleanup drive in the forest with environmental activists. But no matter where she went, it seemed Jasper's party always appeared, too. Just ignore them, her mother said. Francine exchanged glances with Jasper as their paths crossed, but she quickly looked away, forcing herself to forget what should have already been forgotten. Let's just finish this early, Francine muttered, diving into her work. She focused hard on her tasks and didn't notice Jasper approaching. When she turned around, she jumped. He was standing right behind a tree. She quickly walked away, but Jasper subtly followed her. Wherever she swept, he followed. Finally, she stopped and turned around. Are you doing this on purpose? She asked sharply. It's the only way I can talk to you. You keep ignoring me. Can we talk? Jasper asked seriously. This again, she said, exasperated. I'm so sick of this. Can we talk? Can we talk? What do you want to talk about? I just want to say I'm sorry, he said. I know you probably won't forgive me, but I still want to apologize. Francine exhaled deeply. I understand. You lost control of your emotions. Fine. That's why I'm telling you. I'm sorry, Jasper said. Can we pull up a white flag and stop this nonsense? I don't want us to argue for the rest of our lives. I want peace. He extended his hand toward her. Francine looked at it. She hesitated. I need to build some kind of relationship with him for Franco. Maybe he'll be less angry when I tell him the truth. She was about to shake his hand when her phone rang inside her jacket. She quickly answered. Hello? It was her mother. Franco was hit by a cart when he stepped outside. He's unconscious. We brought him to the hospital. Come quickly. Francine froze. The world seemed to stop around her. She could only hear her heartbeat. Jasper saw her expression shift. Francine, what's wrong? She met his eyes. I need to go. It's my son. What happened? Let me take you. You'll get there faster. Francine didn't hesitate. She went with him. They arrived at the hospital minutes later. Her parents were waiting. They didn't even notice Jasper beside her. How's Franco? She asked. He's in the ER. They're still attending to him. I'm so sorry. We didn't watch him carefully enough, her mother said tearfully. No one's at fault, Francine replied. Jasper stood silently nearby. He wanted to comfort her, but he didn't know how. The doctor emerged from the emergency room. Doctor, Francine asked. I'm sorry to say this, but he's lost a lot of blood. He needs a transfusion. He's in critical condition. We need AB positive blood. No one in our family has AB positive, Francine said. Where are we going to find a donor? I can help, Jasper said, stepping forward. I'm AB positive. I'll donate. Everyone turned to him. Thank you, Francine whispered. Jasper approached and gently embraced her. Then he followed the doctor inside. An hour later, Jasper was resting after the donation. The doctor returned and began the transfusion for Franco using blood from his real father. Want to know how this emotional moment changes everything? Stay with Dark Voices for the heartfelt conclusion. Jasper sat quietly as Francine came to sit beside him. Are you okay? I'm fine. You should focus on our son. Francine's heart raced. The words escaped her before she could stop them. He's our son. Please pray that the transfusion works. Jasper turned to her in confusion. What are you talking about? I'm sorry I kept it from you for 6 years, but it's time you knew the truth. Franco is your son. Jasper froze. You can do a DNA test after the operation if you want, but I'm telling you now, he's yours. I was scared. That's why I didn't say anything sooner. We slept together that night at the bar, she continued. I don't know if you remember it. Maybe you don't, but thank you for helping Franco. Jasper sat there, stunned. He remembered waking up in a private room at the bar, completely undressed, with no memory of who the woman beside him had been. He remembered that night. He just hadn't known it was Francine. I thought you were getting married, Francine added. And I was pregnant. I didn't want to cause trouble, so I left. Jasper felt a flood of betrayal. 6 years, and he hadn't known. The moment he first saw Franco, he had thought the child looked familiar, but he dismissed it. I don't know what to say, he said quietly. The doctor returned. He's stable now. We're moving him to a private room so he can rest. Francine and Jasper stood together as they watched Franco being wheeled out of the ER, a bandage on his small arm. Thank you, Francine whispered. Once Franco was settled into his room, Jasper asked gently, Can I hold his hand? Francine nodded. Jasper stepped closer and took Franco's hand into his own. Francine covered her mouth to hold back her tears. What she witnessed was something she hadn't expected, Jasper's sheer joy in seeing his son up close. He looks like me when I was little, Jasper said, smiling. He's a smart boy. He loves books, hates gadgets, and he's obsessed with chicken, Francine replied. She left the two of them alone for a while. Her parents had just arrived and were about to enter the room, but Francine stopped them. Let's give them a moment, she said. I'm glad you finally told him the truth, her mother said. I know it wasn't the right timing, but I feel lighter now, Francine replied. There's never really a right time, her mother said. It just matters that you were brave enough to face it. I remember you said something about your dad, Francine told Franco one morning. I want to show you something. Let's see if what you said about reincarnation is true. Do you want to see? Wow, I want to see, Franco beamed with excitement. Easy there, Francine laughed. You're still recovering. If you get hurt again, Mommy will cry. No, don't cry. I'll be careful so you won't cry again, Franco replied, reaching up with his small hand to wipe an invisible tear from her cheek. At that moment, Jasper walked in and saw the sweet exchange between mother and son. His heart softened, and he couldn't help but smile. Franco looked up and saw Jasper. His eyes widened. There was something in Jasper's face that felt familiar, deeply familiar. Daddy, Franco exclaimed, pointing excitedly. Francine turned to look at Jasper, stunned. But what shocked Jasper more was hearing Franco call him that. Francine waved Jasper over, and Franco grinned. Mommy, look, I told you reincarnation is real. That's him. He's the one from my dreams. Francine knelt down and looked at her son. Yes, she said quietly. He's your dad. As Jasper stepped closer, Franco reached out to hug him. Jasper embraced him tightly. Everything changed for Jasper in that moment. Instead of focusing on his campaign, he took time off to spend with Franco and Francine. The three of them went to an amusement park for a day together. Let's go, Daddy. Franco shouted, tugging on Jasper's hand. Slow down, Francine warned. You'll trip. I got this, Jasper said with a grin. Don't worry, I've got him. They spent the whole day outside, laughing, playing, bonding like a real family. That evening, Jasper booked a hotel room. Franco fell fast asleep after an exciting day. As Jasper got comfortable on the bed, Francine stepped out onto the balcony in a bathrobe to get some air. She didn't realize Jasper was already out there with a glass of wine. "I'm sorry," she said quickly. "I didn't know anyone was out here." "No, it's okay." "Stay," he said. She sat down in the empty chair beside him. For a while, they sat in silence. Then, glancing sideways at him, she asked, "You're not mad at me for hiding Franco?" "Why would I be?" Jasper said. "You had your reasons. If anything, I admire how strong you've been. Raising him all on your own. That's not easy. I want to make up for lost time with him and with you." Francine was caught off guard, her cheeks warmed as he looked directly at her. "Thank you," she said quietly. "Can I tell you something?" Jasper asked. "Sure. This might be embarrassing, but I admired you back then. I loved how bold you were, how you stood up to your enemies. You still drive me crazy in a good way. I just didn't know how to approach you." Francine couldn't believe she was hearing this. When they returned to the province, the campaign trail picked up again. Jasper and Francine often found themselves in the same places. In public, they barely acknowledged each other, but in private, Jasper would throw her small glances and secret smiles. One day, they crossed paths in the parking lot. Francine noticed immediately Jasper looked pale. "Are you okay?" she asked. "You look sick." "I'm fine. Can I see my son later after all this?" "Yes, of course," she replied. "He's been asking about you." Later that evening, Jasper arrived at her home. Francine opened the gate, and he drove inside. "Hey," he said casually as he got out of the car. Francine walked toward him, concerned. She reached out and touched his forehead. "You have a fever." "I'm okay." "No, you're not. You need to rest. I don't want Franco getting sick." Jasper smiled weakly. He liked how she fussed over him. "If you were my wife, I'd probably stop overworking myself," he joked. Francine rolled her eyes. "You're just delusional from the fever." Just then, Franco came running out. "Daddy, don't come near me. You'll get me sick." "Oh, no," Jasper said, chuckling at the boy's reaction. "When you're better, then we'll play." "Okay," Franco said. "Yes, baby," Jasper replied. Francine turned to Jasper. "There's a spare room here. Go lie down and rest." Jasper followed her quietly into the house. Franco trailed behind them. "Daddy, here," he said, handing Jasper a teddy bear. "This is Twin Pop," Franco said proudly. "Mommy gave it to me. He keeps me safe when I'm sick. Now he'll protect you, too." "I'll pray for you, Daddy," the boy added. "Don't worry. Mommy's really good at taking care of people." Jasper smiled at how Francine had raised Franco so well. "She really is," he whispered. "Okay, good night, Daddy," Franco said. "Mommy says we have to sleep early so we can grow strong like you." Jasper's heart melted. "Good night, baby." Francine looked at Jasper. "Go rest." "Can you stay with me until I fall asleep?" he asked like a child. Francine laughed softly. "You're just like your son. He does the same thing when he's sick." "I guess we share the same genes," Jasper chuckled. "All right, lie down and rest." "You know what?" Jasper said. "We need to go on a date sometime." "A date?" Francine asked, surprised. "I just want a good relationship with my son's mother." "Is that so bad?" She tried to hide her smile. "If we find the time, why not?" Jasper's tone became serious. "Actually, now that I found him, I want to leave politics. I don't want to campaign anymore. I want to focus on him and on you." Francine was stunned. You don't have to give up your career for us, she said. I want to, Jasper replied. Politics is dangerous. I just want a peaceful life with you too. If it's okay with you, I want to announce to everyone that Franco is my son. Francine's eyes softened. Thank you, but you really need to rest now. Jasper gave her a tired smile. She waited until he fell asleep, his hand lightly clutching hers. He stirred in the middle of the night and saw Francine had fallen asleep beside him. Carefully, he adjusted her position and looked at her face, calm, peaceful, and beautiful. Leaning down, he kissed her lips softly before tucking the blanket around her and returning to sleep. Francine woke the next morning to find herself still wrapped in Jasper's arms. She was surprised but didn't pull away. He looked peaceful, smiling faintly in his sleep. Later that morning, Jasper joined her and her family for breakfast. He looked more energized, happy to be with Franco. I've got to head out now, Jasper said after breakfast. See you later. Thanks for taking care of me, he whispered to Francine on his way out. No problem, she said softly. Bye, Daddy. Come back later, okay? Franco called out cheerfully. Yes, baby, I will if I'm not too busy, Jasper replied. Francine began preparing for the final day of campaign events. She and her team headed to town, but as they approached the area, they noticed people scattering in panic. What's going on? Francine asked a man who was fleeing. There's been a disturbance. Someone started shooting. Francine, we need to go. It's not safe here, her mother, Mrs. Cruz, urged. I need to check something, Francine insisted. She pushed her way through the crowd, heart racing. Her mind was only focused on one thing, Jasper. She ran toward the stage. Medics were swarming, her eyes locked on Jasper, lying motionless, eyes closed as someone performed CPR on him. Memories of the last time she saved him when he was stabbed flashed through her mind. Not now, please. Not now, she whispered, barely audible. She imagined all the things that could go wrong if he didn't make it. It terrified her. As the ambulance arrived, Jasper was loaded in, still unconscious. Francine forced her way into a car with her team and headed straight to the hospital. She stared blankly out the window as tears fell, praying that he would survive. That group causing the chaos was from the rival party, Mrs. Cruz said angrily. I hope Mr. Sanchez is okay. After 30 minutes, they reached the hospital. Francine rushed inside. Where is he? She asked Jasper's bodyguard. They're still in surgery. We haven't received any updates, he replied. Francine felt restless. She couldn't sit still. Eventually, she went to the chapel inside the hospital and knelt. I don't want to win this election. Please, just let Jasper live. I don't need anything else. Just save him. For our son, she prayed, tears spilling down her face. Minutes later, she returned just as Jasper was wheeled out of surgery. He was unconscious, a bandage wrapped around his arm where the bullet had hit. Where's my son? Jasper's mother, Mrs. Sanchez, arrived suddenly. Francine said nothing. She quietly let the family surround him. She turned and made her way to Jasper's hospital room, where his bodyguard stood guard outside. Can I see him? Francine asked. I'm sorry, only family members are allowed, one guard replied. Let her in, Mrs. Sanchez said, approaching from behind. Francine was surprised. She assumed Jasper's mother was already inside. You're Francine, right? She asked kindly. My son told me everything about you. Once he's okay, please let me meet my grandson. Francine was stunned. You don't need to worry right now, Mrs. Sanchez continued. Just go see him. I know you want to. Thank you, Francine said sincerely. She walked in slowly and saw Jasper resting. Jasper, she whispered, stepping closer. She gently caressed his face. Please be strong. Franco needs you. He was so happy to finally meet you. Don't take that away from him. She leaned in and kissed his lips softly. Francine didn't leave the hospital that night. She called her parents to say she was staying to keep watch over Jasper. In the early morning, she noticed Jasper looking at her, groggy. "You're awake?" she asked, approaching his bed. Jasper nodded faintly, still looking pale. Before he could say anything, Francine threw her arms around him. "I thought I'd lost you," she cried. "I'm okay," he said weakly. Francine accidentally touched his injured arm, causing him to flinch. "I'm sorry," she said quickly, pulling back. "How's Franco?" Jasper asked. "He's fine. He doesn't know what happened to you yet." "Good. He doesn't need to worry." "Come on, back to bed," she said. She gently helped him lie back down. As she moved to leave, Jasper grabbed her wrist. Their eyes met. "Thank you, Francine, for being here, for everything." They were so close now, barely inches apart. And then he kissed her. Francine didn't resist. She kissed him back, pouring into it everything she'd wanted to say but hadn't. When the kiss broke, Jasper rested his forehead against hers. They stayed like that for a while in. After the incident, Jasper officially withdrew from the gubernatorial race. He spent the following month resting and recovering. Francine also didn't win the mayoral race, and that was perfectly fine with her. In truth, she felt relieved to be out of politics. The chaos and danger had left a mark on her, and she was happy to step away from all of it. Once she was fully rested, Francine, Franco, and Jasper took a short vacation together to relax and recharge. They attended a family day event at Franco's kindergarten. When they arrived at the school, Franco was bouncing with excitement. "Let's go. We're going to be late for the games," he said, tugging on their hands. Yes, we're coming," Francine said, laughing. "Careful, you'll trip if you run too fast." The three of them walked together toward the flagpole area, where all the activities were set up. "Let's play that game," Franco pointed excitedly. "You and Daddy can be teammates, Mommy. I'll take a picture of you guys." Francine watched with joy as Jasper and Franco played together, trying hard to win the little relay races. They were so in sync, full of energy, so happy. Nearby, picnic tables were set up for families. Francine laid out the food she had prepared. "Come eat now," she called, handing Franco a sandwich. "Thanks, Mommy," Franco said cheerfully. "He's sweating," she added, handing Jasper a napkin. "Wipe him down." "Yes, my love," Jasper said with a playful grin. That day was filled with laughter, stories, and unforgettable moments. On the drive back to their hotel, Francine sat quietly, watching the sunset through the window. She realized something: the simplest moments with the two most important people in her life brought her more happiness than anything else ever had. When they got back to the hotel, Franco quickly fell asleep. Francine was tidying the bed when Jasper walked in. "He's out like a light," Jasper said. "Well, he had a big day," Francine replied, fluffing a pillow. Jasper picked up a pillow from her hands. "Why?" she asked curiously. "We need to talk," he said, his tone serious. Francine's heart skipped a beat. "About what?" she asked cautiously. "I need to do this with you," Jasper said, reaching into his pocket. He dropped to one knee. "I know this isn't the kind of proposal you expected, but I want to marry you. As soon as possible." Francine's hand flew to her mouth in shock. She hadn't seen it coming. She thought maybe he wouldn't ask, not after everything they'd been through. But here he was. "I don't want to waste any more time," Jasper continued. "I want to marry you. I want to have more children with you." Francine laughed, tears in her eyes. "Yes, Jasper. I want to marry you, too." Jasper stood and slipped the ring onto her finger. Then he kissed her, long and full of promise. That night, their bodies reunited once again, full of passion and tenderness, as if sealing the bond they had finally decided to embrace. 1 month after Jasper's proposal, the preparations were complete. Their wedding was simple, private, and intimate, just as they wanted it. The ceremony was held at the Sanchez family's estate. Both their families and close friends were there, all gathered beneath a sky strung with soft white lights and surrounded by white candles and elegant decorations. Francine and Jasper stood together at the altar, hand in hand, waiting for the ceremony to begin. During the exchange of vows, they read their personal promises aloud, each word heavy with meaning, dreams, and love. Laughter, smiles, and tears filled the moment, touching everyone in attendance. When the priest declared them husband and wife and they kissed, the crowd erupted in joyful applause. The entire place seemed to glow with the warmth of love and unity. Congratulations to the newlyweds, greeted the guests as they lined up to wish them well. Franco ran up to them with excitement, and Jasper scooped him into his arms without hesitation. The photographer captured every second, the joy on Franco's face, the warmth in Jasper's embrace, the tears in Francine's eyes. Everyone was smiling, especially the newlyweds. "I love you, sweetheart," Francine whispered. "I love you, too, Francine, my one and only," Jasper said with a quiet smile. Francine chuckled softly. "You'll always be the mayor of my heart." Jasper couldn't help but laugh. A year into their marriage, Francine returned to her journalism work. Jasper, meanwhile, had stepped away from politics and found work in government service, out of the public spotlight, just as he'd promised. They were in a good place with their families, with their child, and with each other. One evening, after a long workday, Francine exited her office building and spotted Jasper waiting for her by his car, leaning casually against the hood. Her exhaustion melted the moment she saw him. Jasper walked over and took her bags from her. "How was your day?" he asked. "Busy as usual," she replied. "But I survived. Want to go somewhere? Let's have a dinner date." Francine's eyes lit up. "Really? What about Franco?" "I already talked to his nanny." Francine smiled. Jasper always made time to show her love, even after everything, even now that they were married. Every day, she thought, he still finds ways to make me feel special. It was like Jasper never stopped courting her. "We should take a trip to Europe next week," Jasper said as they drove off. "Wait, what? We both have jobs," Francine protested. "I'll take leave." "You can, too." "I'm not sure." "Don't decide yet," he teased. She laughed. "If we go, we're bringing Franco." "Of course, he's been begging to visit that Harry Potter theme park." "You spoil him too much," Francine said. "I can't help it. If it makes our kid happy, why not?" Jasper smiled. "Don't start," Francine warned playfully. Okay, fine. "But we're still going," he said, grinning. They joked the whole drive home, like young lovers with no care in the world. No matter how much time passed, the spark between them never faded. Their love, once complicated and full of secrets, was now steady, strong, and lasting. As they continued their drive, laughter echoed in the car. Jasper and Francine teased each other like newlyweds on their honeymoon, even though they were now husband and wife, with years of history behind them. Back home, Franco was already asleep. Francine carefully unpacked their bags while Jasper grabbed a pillow and tossed it playfully onto the bed. She turned, a puzzled look on her face. "What's that for?" He looked serious. "We need to talk." Francine's heart skipped. "About what?" she asked. "I need to do this with you," he said quietly. He pulled something out from his bag, a second ring, delicate and new. "I know we're already married, but I never got to propose the way I wanted to. That was rushed. This is just for you." Francine gasped softly as he knelt again. "I want you to marry me all over again," Jasper said. "Let's renew our vows, build more memories, have more children. I want forever with you." Tears welled up in her eyes. "Jasper, you didn't have to." "I wanted to." "Then yes," she said, smiling through tears. "I'll marry you again and again and again, however many times you ask." He slipped the ring on her finger once more and kissed her hand. That night, they held each other with the deep comfort of two people who had fought hard to arrive at this moment. Nothing was perfect, but everything felt right. Want more heartfelt stories like this? Subscribe to Dark Voices for more emotional journeys.